I guess it's Friday for everyone, so good. Thank God it is Friday. Good to see you all. We're a little late tonight, but hey, it's Friday. What else you got to do? We're going to hang out together and talk true crime. We have some more information on Dustin, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Some things we speculated about are true, so I can't wait to delve into that. Hey, Sean, Danye, Shasta, big crime day. I feel like every day is a big crime day. I feel like the crime doesn't stop. It sort of happens every day. There was a few different things today. There was a few different stories, although we're not doing any Delphi or anything like that, and we're not doing any of the Boone trial, although they did get a good verdict in that particular one earlier today. She was found guilty of second-degree murder. So if you are following that trial, the Boone trial, she has been found guilty. So that is an interesting one. Hey, Gail, how are you? Good to see you. Marilyn Landis, happy to have you. All right, let me get this loaded up. Yes, okay. Yes, this one here. We finally got an update, which felt like it took forever. Right. Hey, Danny, I know, right? That plea deal that she was offered, if she had taken it, she'd be better off today than what she would have been after the trial. Um, so the Dustin story is about the young man who was found in a tent. And originally, when his friend found him, he reported it as a bear attack. This all took place in Montana, not too far from the Big Sky area, in a place called Moose Creek. Now, the police have come out with a update on. It came out really late on Thursday. Even after we were done yesterday, it came out. I think it was like an hour after that. I'm not sure why they timed it like that, but they did. They are looking for this. What did they call it? They called it a well, I'd call it an axe, but I don't think that's what they're calling it. They are calling it well, okay. It's from a company called S-Twing, and it's a camping axe, blue and silver, likely with a 26-inch handle. And that's not all. They're also looking for a Remington shotgun and a Ruger Blacksmith 44 mag revolver. And they're also looking for a cooler, a Yeti branded cooler. But this is the most interesting to me because the description that they put out originally was that he had died from chopping injuries. So, like chopping sort of injuries. And we all speculated, oh, it could be like a tomahawk or an axe. Well, now we know it definitely was an axe, and it's a little larger than what I thought. I thought it would be more like a handheld one. This one's got quite a long handle on it. And if this is the murder weapon that they're looking for, I mean, what a horrible way. I mean, I don't think there's any nice way to be murdered, but that is just gruesome. And for someone to just pick this up from his campsite and kill him with it, I don't know what happened here. Would someone have robbed him for his firearms? Because it's interesting that there's two firearms missing as well. That Remington 12 gauge shotgun and the Ruger Blackhawk 44 Magnum. So it's yeah, I haven't heard anything about him being shot. All we know is that he had a lot of chopping type injuries. That's the way they described it, chopping, but maybe he was shot as well. And this is a photo of the Yeti cooler that they can't find either. So they're also looking for Anyone with that has trail cams in the area and would have been recording at the time, they want you to hand it in. But let's play the little update video. Oh, is it gonna play for us? It may not. That's all right. I'll find it somewhere else. For some reason, this particular company never actually. Yeah, that's okay. We can get it from here. Yeah, we can get it from. They have a YouTube channel, so.
Now, an update on the investigation into the brutal death of a Belgrade man. 35-year-old Dustin Kjersem was found dead in his tent at a campsite off of Moose Creek Road near Big Sky on October 12th. At first, a bear attack was suspect, but it soon became clear Kjersem was the victim of a horrific attack. The sheriff's office has already asked the public for any information in the case. Now they have some specifics. In a press release, the sheriff is asking people to be on the lookout for these items they believe were taken from the campsite where Kjersem was found: an Estwing blue and silver axe, a Remington 12-gauge shotgun, a Ruger Blackhawk revolver, and an orange Yeti cooler. More specifics about these items can be found over on our website. If you have any information about these items of the murder, you're asked to call the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office.
So a very brief update, but very interesting. Rachel says that is some expensive stuff missing. So we were right about the axe. Yep. All right. Definitely sounds like we were on the money with the murder weapon. I just find the firearms interesting. If you're going to go to this campsite, right? You stumble across a guy. He's camping in this, sort of wooded area. You stumble across him overnight, and then you kill him with the axe. But why would you take the firearms and a cooler? I don't understand that. Why would you take that? Is it theft? Is it evidence? It's something a bit odd about that. So I do know there's actually people out there that will rob you to take your firearms off you. And I was like, well, maybe this is a robbery. Maybe someone wanted the firearms. And I was like, well, then why did they kill him? They could have just taken the firearms and ran away. Uh, it's just a weird eclectic mix of strange items. Two firearms, an axe, and a weird cooler. Rachel said her husband says the guns are worth at least $1,000. Okay. Angela says, but how do you get his axe? Maybe he took the stuff to make it look like a robbery. Yeah. I mean, would he have nothing else like a wallet that you could have taken? Something like that, where it actually looks like you're trying to take his money or credit cards. It's a little weird. All right, let me look up how much is one of these 26 handle. How much is one of these camping axes worth? Apparently they're pretty expensive in Australia. Let me see if I can find a price for it. So apparently in Australia they're saying it's about $180. They're about $180 down here according to the website. How's Muffin doing? He's feeling better today. He had a pretty rough night. He wasn't feeling that great. He basically curled up in a ball and slept at the foot of the bed, which he doesn't really do. But this morning he was fine. He ate his breakfast and he's been running around chirping at everyone. So he's okay. Hey, good to see you. Take the axe with you so you don't leave any DNA. Yeah, why take the cooler unless it's the only thing that sort of runs through my mind is like, could it have been someone who is like homeless and they took the cooler because it had food in it? Like, so they just took anything they thought of that they might be able to sell for money and took the cooler because it had food. I'm not sure. Your cat throws up? Yeah, cats do that. Sean says, every time I see a hatchet, I get flashbacks to Kai the Hatchet guy. Yeah. That guy that ended up being he ended up murdering a couple on the East Coast and then ended up doing something actually pretty good to save someone in another situation, but ended up being done for a double homicide in Virginia or something. I can't remember, but I watched the documentary when it came out. That was a pretty creepy case. Yeah. So an axe, a Yeti cooler. How much is a Yeti cooler? Orange brand Tundra 45. Okay. Wow, they're pretty expensive. Like $450. Can see here. This is the Australian side. Can we go to USA? United States. Shop. It said 450 Australian, so I'm guessing it's about 300 American. Their website is terrible. Let's go Tundra Cooler. Tundra 45, yeah, there you go. $300 American. See, Ping's math between American and Australian dollars is pretty good. There we go. Yeah, let me show you. So there you go. Orange 45 hard cooler. It's a Tundra. $300 American. So this wasn't a cheap cooler. Were these the guys that were on Shark Tank? There was a cooler that was on Shark Tank like 5 years ago. Very similar to this. I wonder if that's the same company. But there you go, $300 for that. You got $1,000 in firearms. You got a $100, you know, about $100 axe. So what have we got? We got $1,400 worth of items taken from the campsite. Almost $1,500. That's a lot of merchandise. Very expensive items. $1,400. That's theft. Danny says expensive hobby. I agree. Hey Texas, how are you? Catatonic says I survived the back of an axe to my head. How did you do that? Or why did that happen? That's what you got to tell me. Why did that happen? Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, about $1,400, give or take $20. And I reckon it has to be that axe is a murder weapon. Oh, it was a DV incident? Oh, I thought you were gonna tell me some funny story about camping, and then you went to go to the bathroom and you tripped over something and the axe whacked you in the head. That would have been a way more funny story. Alright, let me take you to the, Facebook page that I did post it to my Facebook page. If I can get back to my own Facebook page. There we go. Let's go to the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office. And what do they say? They say the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate the circumstances surrounding the homicide of Dustin. We appreciate the information that has been provided by the community, and multiple leads are being investigated. In addition to the information provided, we are asking for you to be on the lookout for the following items that are believed to have been removed from the scene of the crime. The camping axe, the Remington, the Ruger, and the Yeti brand cooler. They say if you see these items, don't touch them and immediately report them. Anyone with information regarding the incident or the items listed is asked to contact GCSO Detectives Division at 406-582-2121, and they have an email, detectives@gallatin.montana.gov, and they say if information is exigent, urgent, please contact GCSO Dispatch at 406-582-2100 and request to speak with a deputy. That's interesting. Do they think someone is roaming around? Well, I guess if you find the person, they may be armed. They got 2 firearms that they stole, so they are possibly armed and dangerous. Here, let's see. Do any of the comments have anything interesting? Last time we looked through them, there was a person who said Dustin's photo was on a sort of like a dating verification page where women post photos of guys they're dating, asking if they're dangerous or are they losers, whatever. And his photo turned up on one of those pages a day before he was murdered, which is very strange. Let's see. Anyone got anything interesting? This person here says, so the motive was probably robbery, killed with his own hatchet. If the motive was robbery, what the hell are you doing out in the middle of the friggin' bushland, like at 2 a.m. in the morning? Like, what are you doing? Just wandering around the woodlands, hoping to find someone to rob? It's a little strange that someone would be out there at that time of night, like wanting to do a robbery. I mean, it could be opportunistic, but you would think that someone looking to do this type of thing might be closer to a city where they would have more opportunity to commit a burglary. I find it a bit weird that it would be out in this area. It's not super remote, but it is sort of just like camping, woodland. There's not really much out there. The only thing I can think of is, are there any active fugitives in the area? Could it be like someone who is running from the law already, and then they've come across Dustin's campsite and robbed him? But that tells me they found his vehicle. If this was like a fugitive situation, they would jump at the chance to take a different car, and they would have taken his vehicle and dumped the other one. So I'm at a bit of a loss of like what situation someone would be out there wanting to hurt someone. It's odd. Like we know, like crimes where someone is a stranger and that leads to murder. It's not so rare, but it's normally someone that knows the person, and that makes me it reduces the chances even more. The fact that it's such a remote area, so your chances of running into someone else is not as high as if you're at your home in Big Sky, Montana, or Billings or whatever. It's a little odd. Are you just wanting to brag that they come from Austin, Texas? Ah, they're on the Austin FC, so Austin Football Club, on their jersey. Okay. So you were killed over over a brand name Cooler. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Rachel says, I really like being active on the Facebook page. It's nice during the day. Well, I'll try post more updates for you. April says, I wonder if the items were taken to a pawn shop for money. So I don't know if you know how a pawn shop works, but when a pawn shop loans money or buys an item, so you can borrow money against an item, or you can sell it directly to the pawn shop. Every day, the pawn shops have to submit a list of items and serial numbers or identifying features to the local police department every day. It's part of their pawn shop license. And I would have figured that if a pawn shop was like, yeah, we got in a orange Yeti cooler, Ruger 45 Magnum, and a 12 gauge shotgun, and possibly this axe that seems to have a lot of red stuff on it. They probably would have figured it out already. I feel like that they would have already got the notice for it. And it's probably one of the first places police already looked. Moonshadow says, yeah, so you killed over that. Yeah, it's a bit odd. Danny says, murder for $1,500. I don't buy it. I think it's more the location. I think okay, say this was a robbery. He's more likely to get robbed in town in Big Sky. I've heard that people get robbed there quite frequently. I would find it weird that someone would either follow him out to the bush or they would stumble across him in the middle of the night. Unless they're like hunters or, people taking animals that they're not supposed to, that type of thing. Yeah, it is a very bright cooler. Sean says, I attended a DV with a news crew where two kids and a mother were both, by the dad in Toongabbie. I saw the young girl who survived with her eye hanging out after being struck in the face. I actually used to live in Toongabbie for a period of time. It's a hole. STL card says, glad there is justice for Quentin and George. Yes, I agree. That was a very quick resolution to the Boone trial, Sarah Boone trial. They were just like in and out and done in like a day. April B says pawn shops have a good system then, very helpful to have all the information. Yeah, it's so they can if an item comes up out of a crime scene, sort of like this, if it gets pawned, then they will be able to check the records and track it down. Instead of having a cop have to go to every pawn shop in the city and ask them, "Hey, did you get any of these items and can you tell us about it?" I think it was because a lot of people were fencing stolen items. Now, that's not to say that there's not some pawn shops who take items under the counter, because there are. There are 100% pawn shops who take stolen property and will give you cash for it, and they do not write it up. They just do it. They just hand you cash and take the item, and they don't write it up. They're not supposed to, but they do. I can tell you that it happens frequently. They're trying to put more things in place to stop it, but how can you stop someone that walks into a store and says, I want $50 for this, and the guy goes, okay, and then they exchange money and go in different directions. It's not something you can do. Penguin says, was there an early show? No, there was no early show today. I had to sleep in. I was tired. I stayed up way too late last night, working on a couple of things, and by the time I got finished, I looked at the clock and it was like 4 a.m. and I was like, oh, I have to be up early to do. I had to do like some errands, and yeah, so I didn't get a lot of sleep. Guys, give me a second. I just want to go grab a drink. Hold on. There we go. Hopefully, it's going to help. I like to drink these during the show because they're hydrating. So I like to drink these when we're doing the live show. All right, so that's basically it for Dustin, but I I am hopeful that we'll now see some movement, because you're not going to, like they said in the chat, you're not going to miss a bright yellow cooler, and if that turns up anywhere in Montana, people are going to call it in. And this is pretty, identifiable too. I mean, if you saw a guy that had a bright orange cooler and a blue and silver, you know, 26-inch long axe, I'm sure people are going to be like, "Hey, wasn't that on that news report yesterday about that guy that was killed out in the out in the woodlands?" I'm sure that's going to get picked up really fast. So I am hoping we're going to get a resolution pretty quick to this. It is a weird case, and one, I feel sorry for the friend. If the friend who found him in the morning ends up being not involved, because I know some people were like, maybe it was him. Um, if it's not him, I might, I feel very sad that he had to find his friend like that. I don't know if you could ever imagine walking into a campsite, opening up the tent, and seeing your friend who had the absolute life bashed out of him with one of these. Like they said, they thought it was a bear attack. How severe must the injuries have been? And so I feel very sad for his friend. That's a very difficult and hard way to find someone, that's your buddy. Rachel says those axes are pretty popular here, but the combo of items should be noticeable to any locals. I think that's why they released it, because they're all very unique, right? The shotgun and the other gun, they're sort of very common, and if you just saw a person with those two items, you'd probably go, everyone has firearms in Montana. But if you saw someone with a couple of firearms, you don't even have to know the model, and then you see the axe and the orange cooler, you'd be like, "Hey, I think we have something here." So I'm hoping this is going to turn around very quickly. April said, "Not a very smart thief." It is interesting though that now that this is public knowledge, do you think they're going to try and dump the item somewhere? Because the heat is now being turned up. Now, like for the last week or so, the only people who knew those items were missing were cops. But now the entire public knows about it. I would think maybe they might find them somewhere. They might be magically found on the side of the road. I hope not, because it means they're going to be on the run. But if the guy was smart, he would dump them. So there we go. There's that Yeti. They didn't give us any pictures of the firearms. They didn't give us any photo. I guess because they're just stock standard. What is a Remington 1187? Oh, okay, it's one of these. What is this thing? I have no idea. So they're saying it should be something like that one, because they said it had a wood stock on it, which is that back bit, right? Or that's like the butt of the gun. So they said it was wood. So maybe like the bottom one, that's a black one, I guess it's colorized or whatever. This one is just your natural wood color. They're saying it should be like that one. Let me double check. What was the wording? Yeah, with a wood stock on it. And then the Ruger Blackhawk 44 Magna revolver blued. Blued? Blued. I know what that is. That's where you put a flame to metal, right? And it blues it up, like you get the blue color. Or is Ping wrong? A Ruger Blackhawk 44 mag. All right. I want to see what blued is. Hold on. Nope, that's not it. That's a pretty big gun. It's like your Dirty Harry gun, right? Very similar, because it's here. I'll put a photo of it. There it is. I don't know what they mean by blued, but I thought that's where they heat the steel. But yeah, it is. It's called bluing. and it's an oxidization process of the steel. You can use chemical or heat, I think, right? Oh, it's like a protective finish. Bluing involves an electrochemical conversion coating resulting from an oxidizing chemical reaction with iron on the surface, selectively forming magnite or magnetite. The black oxide iron in comparison, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it's a chemical coating on the gun. There we go. Hey, Carolina, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it's a coating, so it's probably just to prevent it from rusting or something like that. It's chemical. Yeah, we read it out. Chemical is done the most. Okay, so it probably has a slightly different color to this one. I wonder if we can find an actual example of this firearm with the correct colorization. All right. What do you? Let's just do that. Okay, so in a blued finish with adjustable sights. I think it's just an option. Like when you purchase a firearm, you can get them in different finishes. That's at least what I'm seeing here. Am I 18 years or older? Yes. They're showing it looks like this. Here's a different, slightly different. This is a 357 Magnum. The other one was a 44. This is a 357, 357. They're saying this is a blue. What the blued coating looks like. At least that, yeah. There you go. It's a 5/8 and blue, so blue coating on it. It comes out like a darker black, almost like a black color. Um, Carolina, that is very kind of you. I very much appreciate your super sticker. It's very, very sweet of you to support the channel. Sorry, I didn't mean to be flippant about it before. So there we go. Some firearms. I'm sure they're very noticeable. And I think people have firearms everywhere in Montana. I think it's more likely the axe and the Yeti cooler is what people will remember. That's probably why that's why we only have photos of them. Guys, if we get an update on it, I will let you know. I hope we do because we need to know what kind of person heads out into the wilderness and beats a guy to death with an axe and just leaves him there. Takes all his crap and goes. That is not a person you need wandering around society. They need to be locked up and, yeah, taken away from people. Hey, we're not New Zealanders. There's no chili bin. You go back across the ditch. That's not an Australian word. We call it an esky, but yeah, chili bin is those people across the ditch. That's what they call it. All right, let's get out of this one. There's your update about that. Yeah. Hopefully, now that these items have been released, we're going to get a very quick turnaround. At least that's what Ping thinks. I think now we're going to, probably by next week, we're going to find out a lot more and maybe even have an arrest. I think it's going to happen pretty quick. Hold on. Let me see. We had an update to a different case. Yes. So the other day we actually missed a story. I had it on the title card and then I just forgot and just never did it. So I really do want to go over it very quickly. Hold on. Because a couple of people emailed me and they're like, "Ping, you didn't do the story about Las Vegas." And I was like, yeah, I know." I forgot. So we're going to quickly get it over and done with, and I will tell you some of the details about it because very interesting and well worth having a listen to. So let me load up this video. Let's go to News 3 Las Vegas.
Well, Metro Police closing the books on a 30-year-old murder mystery. Today, announcing a killer has been identified in a homicide from 1994.
3 decades later, advances in DNA help crack this case. News 3's Denise Rosh is live at Metro headquarters. And Denise, unfortunately, there will be no trial.
Yeah, Jim, the suspect in this murder case died 3 years ago, but for the victim's family, there are now answers. And today they are saying thank you to everyone who ever worked this case.
She was a super kind heart. She was just a really nice person. That's tragic.
Walter and Jason White say it was a loss that haunted their family, the murder of their older sister, 27-year-old Melanie White. Now, 30 years after her death, Metro Police say DNA links the case to this man, Arthur Lavery.
Very limited information about Lavery due to the fact that he was pronounced deceased in May of 2021 from complications with COVID.
A suspect with a relatively clean record.
We do know that Lavery attended local high school here in Las Vegas and appears to have grown up here in the Las Vegas area and worked numerous jobs.
The case goes back to August 27th, 1994. 2 hikers found the body of White near Lake Mead. The autopsy determined she'd been strangled and beaten. With all leads exhausted, the trail went cold. Then in 2021, Metro Police teamed up with the nonprofit Vegas Justice League, which sponsored the case for resubmittal of DNA through Othram Laboratory in Houston. And this summer, a positive match was found.
The hairs on your arms stand up.
Lydia Ansel and Justin Wu are co-founders of the league.
The detectives who have been working on this and Othram Lab who have been, finding answers, they're the ones who do all the work. But just to be a small part of that, you just feel the impact of that, and it's overwhelming.
The nonprofit's 9th solved cold case in Southern Nevada.
And as we work through the cold case log, we're hoping to get to newer cases where we can actually get some real, perpetrators off the street one day.
As for the White family, they say they've never heard of Arthur Lavery. But after 30 years, they say they are finally at peace.
That group of people, the Justice League, they've done a whole bunch of these. A couple of years ago, they were at CrimeCon, I think CrimeCon, and they did like a little press briefing, and they had worked on, I think it was 3 or 4 of like there was these women that had been found in and around Las Vegas, and very, very similar MOs, but I don't think they were connected. But they were all women, all found around Las Vegas, all had been essayed and dumped, unfortunately. And I think now this was the last one they had out of the 3 or 4 that they had picked up that they wanted to solve. And it's great result. Unfortunately, my memory's not the best on what case the other one was, but I have a weird feeling it's the same ending, that the person responsible had died recently before they were able to ID them. To me, that's the saddest part, because while we now know who did it, there's never any justice for the family. They don't get their day in court. All they get is a press conference and basically saying, "Cool, we know how your daughter died. Thanks." And they just leave. And then they still have that, trauma to work through for the rest of their lives. It's really, really sad. Even though some people might say his punishment of dying from not breathing may actually be a just punishment. So he died from complications to COVID, and from what I read, he basically stopped breathing. He couldn't breathe. He died from asphyxia, or like a type of asphyxia from he was a bigger guy in his old age, and he died from a lack of oxygen. I will glue you to the microphone, you silly thing. Burnt Popcorn says Vegas has gotten way too expensive. I haven't been to Vegas since 1997. That was the last time I was in Vegas, and we stayed at the what's the hotel called? The Luxor. It looks like a pyramid, and it looks like, yeah, it looks cool. It has a pyramid and a light that comes out the top. And I can tell you that when I stayed there, even in the 90s, it was it looked like it was built in the 70s. It was a bit run down, even in the 90s. All right, here, let's play the end of this.
Just want to say how grateful we are to the officers of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for never giving up on finding Melanie's killer. We're very, very grateful for the contributions of the Vegas Justice League, whose donation for DNA testing by the police allowed the police to crack the case.
And Melanie White had just moved to Las Vegas a few months before she was killed, and police were never able to determine a link between her and the killer. There is no evidence that they knew each other at all. Reporting live, I'm Denise Rush.
You know, always happy to see where Othram can help solve a case. So I want to talk to you a bit more here. So last year, it may be from this press conference, here's the people from the Justice League. They're saying they got recognized last year for solving cold cases. They say it comes after 2 years after the group funded and set the world record for the smallest sample of DNA used to solve a cold case. They said since then, the league has helped solve 7 more cases throughout the Southern Nevada community. Justin Wu, a co-founder of the Vegas Justice League, said the group is just getting started. Yeah, so they actually got awarded, I think, a certificate from the city. Here, we can play the little video if it'll play it.
Vegas Justice
Yeah.
League officially has their own day. It comes 2 years after the group funded and set the world record for the smallest sample of DNA used to solve a cold case. Since then, the league has helped solve 7 more cases throughout the Southern Nevada community. Justin Wu, the co-founder of Vegas Justice League, says they're just getting started.
We're hoping that the benefit of this at some point in time, as we move through the cold cases, we are going to start to get live people, which are going to make the cities, the streets of the city safer. Because if we're taking murderers, and rapists off the streets of Henderson and the city of Las Vegas, that's a great thing for the community as well.
This past week, the Las Vegas City Council recognized the group's work and officially declared July 21st as Vegas Justice League Day. Lydia Ansell, a co-founder of the team, says seeing the impact each solved case brings to a victim's family is priceless.
Isn't that cool that they decided to use some of their own money and ingenuity to help police clear backlogs of old unsolved cases with philanthropy? So they were trying to do that and use their money to do good in their in their city. So I can show you a little bit more. This is from the Las Vegas Review Journal. They say 5 philanthropists are putting their money behind an effort to solve Southern Nevada's cold cases. They call themselves the Vegas Justice League, and each member has a common goal: help real crime fighters clear out their backlog of long unsolved murder cases. They're saying the group was started by Justin Wu, whose money helped identify the suspect last year in the 1989 murder of 14-year-old Stephanie Isaacson. They said they set a world record for that one for using the least amount of DNA ever to solve a case. I can actually show you a little bit about that one. Let me highlight that. Yep, we'll do that after I get through this. They're saying in December, Wu asked his wife and 2 friends if they would be interested in donating to help solve more cases, and they agreed. They say, I think it's important to have more people involved in this, he said. There's a lot of cold cases in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, It's a little beyond my capacity, and I'd like to see more people involved. Wu said he wanted to name the group the Justice League in honor of DC Comics because they were a group of people trying to do good, if not actual superheroes. They say each case requires a $5,000 donation for the DNA to be extracted from evidence, traced by a genealogist, and potentially matched to a relative. As of June, the Justice League has donated enough for Las Vegas and Henderson police to study a combined 7 cases through Texas Othram Labs. So yeah, that's what I was telling you before. They had these bunch of cases that they were going to work through. I think hers was the last one, if I'm correct. Let's go to the one they solved with the least amount of DNA, because I think that's really cool. If I can grab here. So this was 22nd of July, 2021.
Thank you for coming out this afternoon so we can discuss a very important solve for not only our department, but this community as a whole. On June 1st of 1989, at around 6:30 a.m., 14-year-old Stephanie Isaacson had left her house near the intersection of Nellis and Stewart, walking towards El Dorado High School. Later that afternoon, when she did not return home from school, her father contacted El Dorado school officials to find out where her daughter was, or his daughter was. Stephanie did not show up for school. At that point, the father contacted all of her friends, and none of them had seen her at school that day. Shortly afterwards, he called the LVMPD to file a missing persons report. At that time, Metro Police began an exhaustive air and ground search attempting to locate Stephanie. At approximately 8:40 that evening, near the intersection of Stewart and Nellis, several of her school books and belongings were found in a desert area. At that point, search parties responded to that area and began searching and located Stephanie's body about 25 yards off of a trail that she normally took while walking to school. At autopsy, we learned that Stephanie had significant blunt force trauma injuries and that she had been sexually assaulted. The Clark County Coroner's Office ruled her death as a result of strangulation. The LVMPD Homicide and Forensics Section began a decades-long investigation. We have identified multiple persons of interest over the last several decades, and investigators have traveled all throughout the United States to Washington State, Ohio, and Texas, following up on this case over the years. And it was not until July of 2021 that we were able to identify a suspect in Stephanie's murder. Continuing to work this investigation, Metro's Forensics Lab received an outstanding donation from an anonymous donor last year, offering to pay for some new forensic technology on one of Metro's cold cases. Stephanie's case was chosen specifically because of the minimal amount of DNA evidence that was available. As a result, we have identified Darren Roy Marchand, who has been positively identified as the person who sexually assaulted and murdered Stephanie in 1989. Here to explain the testing is LVMPD Forensics Director Kim Berga.
Good afternoon. My name is Kimberly Merga, and I'm the Director of Forensic Laboratory Services, and I will provide an overview of the forensic DNA testing that was performed in order to bring this case to closure.
I'm going to leave it there because I don't think we need to hear all the technical side of it. But there is there's the photo. So there is her when back in the 80s. And this is the suspect here. You can tell this is quite an old photo, very, very old. Let me grab some more information about him. Yeah, from Fox 13. You guys can see him there. And this is from June 1st, 1981. His name is Darren, is it Marchand? And he was pictured in a 1986 booking photo 3 years before he killed this 14-year-old Stephanie. And yeah, so this was one of the ones that they did. They said an anonymous donor in that particular interview, but they made it public a little later on that it was them, the Justice League, who provided that $5,000 funding for Othram. So it's sort of like a three-way street. It's the Justice League, the police department, and Othram, and they sort of all work together. The Justice League works to get the money together. They work to get the police department involved with the donation, and then the police department work and do like their job with Othram. So at no time do the Justice League ever have any access to case files or that type of information. All they do is help raise money to apply technology that would otherwise be out of the budget for most police departments that just don't have that type of money lying around for. It's often for cases where they think they're not going to get a result, so they're like, "Oh, let's not bother." And these people go. We think it's worth it, even if it's a shot at it, and we don't get anything. It's still worth it to see if we can find out who hurt this person and killed them. So it says here, I want to show you the bit about the guy. Hold on. This is the other one here. So Marchand, who was 23 years old when Stephanie was murdered, had previously been arrested in 1986. That's the mugshot you see up there, in the homicide of Nanette Vanderberg, 24, of Las Vegas. Details of that case were not available, but authorities said the case against him was later dismissed for lack of evidence. Isn't that horrific? So he'd already been picked up for the murder of a 24-year-old woman and then went on to kill a 14-year-old. They saying there was DNA evidence in Nanette's murder, but at the time the testing was not available yet. They said the new testing has linked Marchand, if that's how you pronounce his name, to Stephanie's murder, but also linked him to Vanderberg's death. So this $5,000 donation that they did not only cleared up one cold case, but they hit two in the same one because they were able to link him to another woman who died. They're saying it's unclear how detectives initially tied him to Vanderberg's killing in 1986, but Spencer said there is no way to know if he knew Stephanie prior to the day of her murder. They said it appears to be a random attack while she was walking to school. Pretty crazy. I wanted to find out. I think he might be the other one that died, if I'm correct here. So unfortunately, a few of them have passed away. Yes, he committed S-word in 1995 at the age of 29 and died. And his full name is Darren Roy Marchand. And so he's another one. There's been a few of these that they've worked on where unfortunately by the time they've actually been able to pour the money into it and the technology has caught up, the people are no longer with us to prosecute. I think that's pretty sad, but Justice League seems like it would have been trademarked. Well, the way trademarks work though is it has to be in like sort of like the same like division. So if you're a comic book writer or a movie producer and you're like, hey, I'm going to call my comic book and make a movie out of it, I'm going to say it's the Justice League, then DC Comics are probably going to come after you. Or if you steal their drawings and put it on your own T-shirt or something and say, look, these are my Justice League people, then they will come after you. But this is like, philanthropy. Like, they're doing like a charitable cause. I don't think DC Comics are probably going to come after people who are doing good in the world under the name of a group of, comic book heroes who tried to save the world. I think they probably just see it as a good thing. I don't think they're going to go after these people who are helping people. But they're not even in the same thing. These guys are working in a completely different field. It's not related in any way, and they're not losing any profits from them using that name. That's sort of the things with copyright. You watch Boise State at the University of Las Vegas. Interesting. Yeah, do they play there now? Isn't that weird? I learned that the other day. There's a whole bunch of teams that play in Las Vegas that don't actually come from there. And I was like, that's so bizarre. Football and sports are weird when that happens. Yeah, so a little bit more on Stephanie. They said she vanished the morning of June 1st, 1989, as she walked her usual route to El Dorado High School, cutting through a sand lot on the way. According to authorities, her father got worried when she didn't return home in the afternoon and called the school. He learned from the front office that his daughter had never made it to class that day. And they say at that point her father contacted all her friends and none of them had seen her that day. He panicked and called the police. At that time, Metro Police began an exhaustive air and ground search attempting to locate Stephanie. Around 8:40 p.m. that evening, some of the teen's textbooks and other belongings were spotted strewn near the intersection of Nellis Boulevard and Stewart Avenue, which in 1989 was still a desert area, according to police. They say search parties looking for the missing girl found her body about 25 yards off the trail she took to and from school each day. And it took, 30 years to finally find out this mongrel here had sort of abducted her and killed her on her way to school. He really is like the boogeyman that parents warn you about, don't talk to strangers on your way to school and be careful. There's bad people out there. He is the bad people. 100%. So that is really cool. I love hearing about the Justice League. I've seen them speak a couple of times. I'm pretty sure one was at CrimeCon. If it wasn't at CrimeCon, then it was Dave from Othram who was talking about them or something like that, because they've been doing a lot of good work. All right. That's that one. So I wanted to clear that up because I had it in the title the other night. We didn't end up doing it. I felt bad. And then people emailed me saying, why didn't we do that story? And I was like, I'm sorry. I forgot. Hold on. All right. I wanted to see, there was another one they did that was like an older woman that they were able to solve. It was but 2 years ago, I think. I'm just trying to see if I can pick it up very quickly before we get off this topic. I don't think I can find it, unfortunately. But I can show you that a couple of years ago, they were looking into this one already here. Vegas Justice League offers Metro help identifying mystery Lake Mead body. This was the other one. This was the body they found in the corroded drum. If you guys remember that, during COVID, when the water level dropped in Lake Mead, they found a barrel that had a human remains in it. And the Justice League were offering their money to help, to help find out who it was. Did they end up finding out who that body in Lake Mead was? I think they did, right? I feel like we did that story. I feel like we did that story like months ago. Hold on. No. Did we? I feel like, oh, no, they released a thing for it. That's right. So they released this. They released like a clay figure type rendering of the person in the barrel. That's what we did. Now I remember. That's it. So they released this saying that's what the person may have looked like in the barrel they found in Lake Mead in 2022. And yeah, I don't think they ever fully identified him, but yeah, that's it. So apparently 3 other people were found in Lake Mead in 2022 when the water dropped, and they were able to identify them, including a person called Claude Russell Pensinger of Las Vegas who disappeared at age 52 in July 1998. His remains were found in the summer of 2022 on the shoreline of Lake Mead's Boulder Beach. The remains were identified this year. The cause and manner of his death have not been determined. Another person found in Lake Mead was Donald P. Smith of North Las Vegas, who was reported to have drowned in April 1974 at the age of 39. His remains were found at Lake Mead's Colville Bay in October 2022 and were identified earlier last year. And another one is Thomas Ernst of Las Vegas was reported to have drowned in August 2002 at the age of 42. His remains found in May 2022 in Lake Mead's Colville Bay area were identified in 2022. Isn't that interesting that when that water level dropped, they were able to find human remains that had been missing for, like, this one's 1998, this one is 1974, and 2002. They were there the entire time, but until the water level severely dropped due to drought. They had no idea that everyone was walking along it and swimming next to these human remains and bones. That's freaky. Very freaky. But the guy they found in the barrel, they still, I don't think they've ID'd him, but there's that plaster, reconstruction of what he may look like. Yeah, I think we did it at the time. Angela said, did you see the email re Liam Payne and the hotel being raided by police? Did I? Yes, this morning. Yeah, I did see that. I don't think they're raiding it as such. I think it's just what they do. They're probably just trying to look for like records and things like that. Who was on duty? What happened? Is there any surveillance footage? Stuff like that. I don't think unless they think like they were dealing the drugs to him from the hotel. I'm not sure. Yeah, see here. On Wednesday night, a police special investigators unit, went to the Casasua Hotel and seized items such as computer hard drives and footage from hotel cameras. Yeah, I had a feeling that's why they were doing it. So that's probably just a like a procedural thing. They need to have a search warrant. They need to go there, get the information from the computers and stuff like that. Go Niners! Beat the Cowboys? Yes, I hope so. Danny gifted 1 membership. I wrote a note to myself last night, and here it is. I don't know if you guys won't be able to see it because it's on my notepad, but it says here, remember to thank Danny for being so awesome and so basically Danny's been giving away memberships to try and increase the membership pool of the channel and get people to stick around and be part of the community. And it says here, maybe I haven't said enough how awesome Danny is, and to tell him tonight. So there you go, Danny. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it and your help in trying to increase the channel memberships and community. Sean says bodies can last 5 years in cold water. You mean like fully intact, like no decomp? Yeah, they found people in like the Atlantic, like northern England. They've found bodies there from like a long time ago. Oh, it was Andrew that gifted this one? Oh, Andrew got it. Yeah. Good work. I'm glad Andrew got it. Good work. All right. Yeah, no. If you want to know more about like the whole bodies in cold water thing, there's a couple of good documentaries on it. He's hidden a lot of bodies in cold water, apparently. That's what he does. He's never told us, but now we know. All right, let's get out of that. All right, let's go here. You know, I was watching an interesting documentary. If you guys want to have something to watch later, there's this documentary. I had no idea who this person was. I just turned it on and I was relaxing. And I was just like, oh, I'll watch this documentary. I don't know who this is, but sure. It was about a woman in I'm going to say the wrong UK. I think it's Scotland. Hold on, what is it? I don't want to upset our British people. Hold on. Yeah, Scotland. So there was this murder and kidnap of a woman called Linda Spence. I don't know if any of you know this particular case, but Channel 5 in the UK just released a documentary about it. She was like a con artist. She was ripping off all these people in like land deals. Like she was offering them like big returns for, you know, if you invest with me, I'll make you a millionaire in a year. That type of thing. Well, two of the people who had invested or somehow got tied in with money with her ended up being accused of killing her, but they've never found her body. And the two guys that were involved are now spending like 30 years in jail in Scotland. And they did a TV movie of it. Did it come out last year? Hold on. I don't know if this is the same one, but there's this internet movie database thing about it. But it's from Channel 5 in the UK. And it's called The Kidnap and Murder of Linda Spence, a Channel 5 documentary. Very interesting, and she was a weird lady. She tried to make what are they called, like bearer bonds. She tried to make fake ones from Denmark, and then she flew to America, tried to get a bank in America to validate them, and the bank in America basically kicked her out and was like, you can go away with your fake, photocopies and go away. Oh, May this year? Yeah. Well, the place I got it from said it was recent. So, hold on. We got too many tabs open. That's why. Linda Spence. So this is the Scotland Police actual website, scotland.police.uk. No, this is an inquiry. This is not a documentary. This is an inquiry into her like disappearance and stuff like that. It says Linda Spence inquiry, discovery of remains, man-hour cost. I don't think they ever found her. What are they talking about? Discovery of remains. No, I don't think they ever found her. I think they've tried a couple of times to look for her in various parts of Scotland, but I don't think they ever found her. I don't know what they mean by that. Do they mean just like they're looking for her and they want to know how many man hours that it could take? Let's see. If we open up that, will it tell us? It will not. I'm not sure what that means. Reference 212. All right, let's look that up. The last time I can see that they looked for her was in March 2022. They were looking in a remote area in Argyll, searching for her body, but they didn't find anything. And these are the two fellas here. They were convicted, I think, over 10 years ago now. Colin Coates and Philip Wade apparently kept her captive for almost 2 weeks and tortured her, then somehow killed her and dumped her where she's never been found. They've never located her, these two guys. All because she was actually scamming them out of their money, and these guys weren't putting up with it and sort of went too far and killed her. It says here 2 men have been convicted of abducting, torturing, and murdering the missing businesswoman Linda Spence, who disappeared 2 years ago, 12 years ago now. They say Colin Coates and Philip Wade, both 42 at the time, taped the 27-year-old financial advisor to a chair in a flat in, Ayrshire? Ayrshire in April 2011 and assaulted her every day for almost 2 weeks before killing her. A jury at the High Court in Glasgow found the pair guilty after an 11-week trial. That is a hell of a trial, 11-week trial. That is a long, court process. They're saying Coates and Wade forced Spence into a car at Broomhill Path in Glasgow on the 14th of April 2011 and drove her to West Kilbride, where David Parker and Paul Smith let them into Parker's flat in Meadowfoot Road. They say Spence was wearing sunglasses that had been taped on the inside, and Coates held on to her waist. So basically, they guided her into the apartment while she couldn't see because they had taped up some sunglasses and put them on her head. They're saying Wade carried in a tool bag that was referred to during the trial as a torture kit containing garden loppers, surgical tape, vinyl gloves. They took the woman upstairs to the attic area and taped her to a leather chair by the arms and waist. Coates and Wade would arrive each day to hurt her as a way of trying to extract financial information. She was burned with an iron and hit with a golf club, and they crushed her toes, cut off her thumb, and severed her little finger. And they were doing this because, yeah, she had stolen a lot of money from the both of them. And so they decided to, do that, abduct and torture her. So if you want to watch the documentary, I think it's pretty interesting. If you've never heard of the case, let me see if I can find a link. I don't want to tell you everything, otherwise you won't know you won't watch the documentary. Where is it? Channel 5. If you have Apple TV, it might be on there. Yes. How can I give this to you? All right. Let me just search this and get a pure link for you. Oh, it says this episode is no longer available. Oh, that's a shame. Fine, I will do this. You can Google this name, and you might be able to find it on a streaming service in your country. So that's the name of it. It was done by Channel 5 in the UK, but I can't seem to find. Apparently, it's still on Channel 5. So if you're in the UK, you can still watch it. And it says available until the 7th of August 2026. So if you're in the UK, you can still watch it, but apparently it's also on Sky Cable too. They have a link for it as well. One episode available, and it's on their UK website. Don't know where it would be in Australia. There's the Sky one. But you might be able to find it somewhere. Or email Ping and I'll tell you where I got my copy. I won't tell you on the air, but I can tell you in email. Or PM me on the Facebook. All right, let's keep going. I don't know how we got onto that. Do we know anything? I get a lot of questions about the young girl who died in the oven, and everyone keeps asking me if I know any more information, but I really don't. And we can go to Fortune magazine, and I can show you maybe. Okay, not that one. Let's go to NBC. So not a ton of new information. Not a ton of new information, unfortunately. But apparently her grieving mother is trying to bring her brother and father over to Canada from India, because of the tragic events involving her daughter. And they're saying here, yeah, the 19-year-old died after being trapped or caught in the bakery's walk-in oven in a Halifax Walmart. They're saying her mother, who found the body, is traumatized, according to advocates. Someone says here, the first day I saw her was the day the incident happened. She was really distraught. She was really in a great deal of pain. Local authorities say the investigation into her death is ongoing, and the cause and manner of death have not yet been determined. The community has been shocked by the whole incident, and they're saying they're really upset. But yeah, their GoFundMe's raised almost $200,000 for her family now. And yeah, that there's really not a ton of new information. I guess the investigation is still ongoing in Halifax. All right, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to see if there's any new information on it. Here. What are they saying now? They're saying the fundraiser for the family of a woman found dead inside the baking oven in Halifax Walmart paused as donations hit over $200,000. They say that is quadruple the original $50,000 goal of the GoFundMe page. Wow, that is a lot of money. Well done to the community trying to help her. Here, let's play it's only a 40-second video.
For a woman found dead in a Walmart bakery oven in Nova Scotia has been paused after it raised close to $200,000 in donations. 19-year-old Gursim Rancour was found dead inside the oven by her mother on October 19th, according to the Maritime Sick Society. A GoFundMe campaign was set up by the society to cover funeral costs and bring relatives to Halifax from India. Now, the campaign has closed as the society says it has started distributing funds to the family. Halifax police say they have no new updates on the investigation.
Sorry, we got we got paused by a second. Yeah, so her mother found her. The mother and daughter worked at the Walmart together. When her mum hadn't seen her for a period of time, she started asking around, like, have you seen my daughter? Where is she? And then she tried to call her, and the phone wasn't going through. Like, she wasn't picking up. So the mum started walking around asking other team members, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's probably on break, or she's probably helping a customer." She went to her daughter's section in the bakery, and a worker told her, "Hey, the oven's been acting weird and is leaking water or something, some sort of leakage." And they then found that the daughter was in there, and they called 911. It's very sad. It's awful. Like, I can't imagine having to be that to make that discovery. Who's making accusations? Your sister has been a Walmart associate for years, has never heard of a walk-in oven. There's already people that have confirmed that they work at Walmart and that they have walk-in ovens. We read about it the other night. There's people that were managers that have said that, well, how else do you bake things at a Walmart then? I know you guys sell celebration cakes, yeah? Like the cakes you can ride on. Like, I know in America they're really popular. How do you do those, and cake and bread, if you don't have an oven? I don't think they're gonna truck it in, will they? Because it's like a fresh bakery. I think we got photos of it anyway, not of the one that she died in, but apparently there's something like this. They sort of look like that. I don't know. We don't have Walmarts here, so I don't know. Sean says, depends how many barbecue chickens you sell. That's right. That's the only ovens we have for barbecue chickens here. That's all we have. Let me see. Oven. Yeah, so people online were saying that it's pretty common, but this is a Canadian one. Maybe they're different too. I don't know. But here's a photo. I mean, if you look here, I mean, they have fresh bread and like cakes and that. You'd have to be able to bake that somehow, right? They're saying here, yeah, so yeah, they're saying the same thing. The first thing everyone would check would be the CCTV cameras, right? And then the other questions that you would have is this: how come no one heard her screaming or banging on the oven for help? And why did no one come to help her? And yeah, the other thing is, why did she not know the emergency procedures for the oven if she was working with the oven? Oh, there was a girl that happened to. I don't want to feed into your fears, but there was a girl that got trapped in a walk-in oven. Not a walk-in oven, a walk-in freezer. STL Card says, when I lived in Oklahoma, I got locked in a walk-in freezer. That does not sound fun. What do you mean, let them investigate? This is what we do here. We talk about this stuff. Thavi says, we have them in the States too. Yeah, she baked multiple breads and cookies and such. Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean, isn't Walmart's, like, one of their big things is like their cookies and like cupcakes, celebration cakes, donuts, that type of thing. It's like one of their biggest sellers, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you would have to think by now they have a pretty good idea of what happened. Like, most Walmarts are just covered in cameras. Like, they have loss prevention, they have for staff security, that type of thing. There would have to be like 1 billion cameras on there. Like they would have to know what happened by now. So maybe it was a tragic accident. I don't. Do you actually? Let's do this. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment in the comments. Do you think at all? Because I've seen this spread around a lot of places, and I'm not very keen on the idea, but maybe someone else can explain it. There's a lot of people that reckon this is a homicide. And I was like, what? And they're like, well, how did she not get out of the oven? They're like, it has an emergency stop button and you can get out of it and stuff like that. And I was like, really? What is this? A HBO movie, or is this like, Final Destination where someone got trapped in an oven? I don't know. To me, I don't think so. I think it's probably more likely some sort of tragic accident. I can't imagine someone would deliberately like put her in an oven and then like turn it on. It's not it's not a one of those horror movies you watch on on Halloween or something. Yeah. There's no wow, that's interesting. There's no emergency off switch. No way. So here's one of the ovens apparently. We can't go there. Oh, can we?
Ovens. There's no emergency off switch inside of the ovens. On the inside of the door, there is an emergency release button, but the button is metal and would be extremely hot to press. I'm not sure about other companies, but we set our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The wheels on the racks that we use don't burn. I'm not sure about other ovens, but this oven does not have self-cleaning, and we would not be cleaning the oven while it's on. Besides cleaning, the only other reason we would step fully inside the oven would be to pick up parchment paper from the floor or other.
So that was a girl who works at a Panera, and they have a similar oven. That's what she was explaining, that their particular one doesn't have a safety switch or something like that. But she's also saying it can't turn on when someone's in there. So yeah, I think that's what I'd like to know. How did it turn on? STL card says, I worked at a cookie factory and we baked and packaged the cookies. I hope it wasn't too tempting to work at that place. I would be like 400 pounds in a year because I would just nominate myself as cookie taste tester and I would just eat all the cookies. STL card says, I don't believe that. Why would someone turn on the oven? Yeah, I'm not sure either. Danny Mitchell says, how would you walk in an oven? Some of the ones, Danny, are really big. They're almost like a imagine a walk-in freezer, but it's an oven. And they just have a door that opens and you can just push. So normally some of the ones for industrial baking, you load up the racks with bakery products and you just push it in and then just close the door and then turn it on. That's it. So they have a flat bottom on it so you can just roll things into it. And then some of them spin, some of them don't. Some of them they just have heat coming from all directions. But yeah, then they normally almost look like a freezer room, but it's an oven. That doesn't make sense. I don't know which bit you're talking about, but if you tell me, I'll explain. Here, I'll show you one. Here. So not the greatest photo, but you can see here it's just a door that it's like a little room, and you just can open this up and you push the giant racks in, and then you just close the door. It's not like an oven, like where you pull down the door and kind of lift something up and put it in. It's just like, yeah, you just open the door and push racks in. That's all you do. Sean says, I used to hang out in the walk-in fridge at the bar I worked at due to the heat outside. When I worked at when I was younger and I worked at McDonald's, we had a cool room, and every time, because I used to work in the kitchen, it gets so hot in the kitchen at McDonald's with all the fryers and the hot plates and all that. So I used to do whatever I had to do, and then I'd run into the cool room for like 2 minutes and try and cool off, and then come back to the cooking area because cool rooms are like instant air conditioning. They're great. But there you go. There's an example. I wish I could find a different one that was higher quality for you. Uh, I guess that one's a little bit better quality. Not great though. But yeah, you just kind of open that door and just shove racks of bread into it. But I don't know how you get locked in there. And with it on. I'm not sure. Anyway, all right, hold on. I have to close down some links. We have far too many things open. I can't even open up anything else to talk about because we have too many things open. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let me check. Someone sent me a story they want me to do. If I can find it. Okay, here we go. So they wanted me to talk to you about a missing Broadway dancer, and apparently they are still haven't been located. So I said I would, and I'll show it to you from WLTX. I think is where we're going to go, but there is a person missing, and they're still outstanding. They haven't been able to find them.
To shed light on this story until Zelig Williams is brought home. The search continues tonight for where this Broadway star is. He's 28 years old and he was last seen by family and friends back on October 3rd. He is a prominent member of the dance and theater community, not only on Broadway in New York City, but right here in Columbia as well. And News 19's Shelley Garzone spoke with his former dance teacher and theater teacher and has details about the type of person he is and why they want him to come home.
I knew immediately that he was going to thrive. You know, I mean, besides his amazing talents, you know, hardworking talents, but also God-given talents. You know, just, again, he was born to do this.
A dance teacher, dance mom, and friend. Caroline Lewis Jones remembers meeting 11-year-old Zelig Williams when he came into her class at Southern Strut Dance Studio.
I immediately knew how special he was he would just come to all the dance classes and he would just show up. And I'd be like, Zelig, you know that, you know, like, this isn't your class. And he was like, I know, but I'm here, so I want to take class. I was like, awesome. So he was just a kid that always wanted to do more.
Hardworking.
Does that lady look like a famous singer? She, not a famous singer, a famous actress. I don't know why she looks so familiar, but she looks like a famous actress. Anyway, I wanted to take you to a newer. This one's from about a week ago, but this one's from a few hours ago. They're saying the search effort looking for Zelig is growing in size. They say the efforts to locate him have been, you know, more people are coming forward to help. They say the family is now offering a $10,000 reward for tips that lead to his safe return. They say if you have any information about Williams, you are asked to contact the Richland County Sheriff's Department. And they say in addition to search efforts, the family has organized several initiatives, including search parties in the Congaree National Park, and that's apparently where they found his SUV on October 4th. Community support has also included a candlelight vigil, a dance event dubbed Dance for Z, with Williams' former dance troupe at the Southern Strut Dance Company aiming to raise awareness about his case. And they say a GoFundMe campaign has also been launched, raising nearly $17,000 to assist with the search efforts. And they're encouraging the community to stay vigilant. If anyone has information, it's crucial to communicate with law enforcement. Seeing something and saying something can be incredibly beneficial. And they're saying he's been missing since the 3rd of October 2024. He's 28 years old and he's missing from Columbia, South Carolina. He's 6 foot tall, 150 pounds, black hair, short in length, and brown eyes. They say he was last seen on Thursday, October 3rd, at his home located in the 400 block of Longwood Road. They say, according to authorities, he was last seen driving in the Congaree National Park area where his vehicle was eventually located. Very sad. I wonder where he might be if they found his car in the national park. Would he still be in the national park? Let's watch this little video.
Continuing to share where we are in the journey, that we're expanding the search, that we are offering a reward for anyone who can bring forward a tip that leads us to bringing Zelig home.
Family of former Broadway star Zelig Williams is doing everything they can to bring him home, including offering up to a $10,000 reward for information leading to a safe return.
If you see something, say something. We need to find Zelig and bring him home.
The Williams family has hosted several search parties in the Congaree National Park area where Zelig's SUV was found October 4th. Since then, there has been a candlelight visual and a Dance for Z event along with his former dance troupe at the Southern Strut Dance Company to raise awareness about the case.
For the family, I know that they have been out there. They've done a press conference. They've held a candlelight prayer service for him. They've been very vocal. Supporting the family when they do have public events would be very good for the family, and prayer.
There is also a GoFundMe for Williams that has raised nearly $17,000. Kimberly Kite with the Broken Link Foundation says there are a few things people can do to help the family and law enforcement in cases like this one.
As far as helping law enforcement, a community, if they know something, say something. If they see something, say something. In this case, I think that would be the most beneficial thing for the community with law enforcement.
The Williams family has scheduled another search for this weekend at the Congaree National Park area. The family welcomes any volunteers who want to help. The search starts at 8 Saturday morning. In Columbia, Misharia Adams, Watch Fox News, Local First.
So this is the poster that they put out for his missing person. Two different photos, one with him wearing a skull cap or a beanie, and one with him without it, showing the length of his hair and more of his forehead. He may look like either, I guess. And they're saying the phone number to call if you see him is 803-576-3000. They say callers can remain anonymous and information will be treated confidentially by the Richland County Sheriff's Department and Crime Stoppers. Very sad. Where is this? The Congaree State Park. Let's have a look. It's a really, wow, it's a large search area. Yeah, I'll take you to it. Just give me a sec. So I don't know which car park he was at. I mean, we might be able to find it. There's a few different like trails and areas, but when you zoom out, it's a large, so you'd probably be up near one of the trailheads. There's probably car parks around. Yeah, there's a little car park right here. So there's probably a few of them. Wherever you see a trailhead, that's where the car parks are. You look out, you zoom out here. This is a huge search area. No wonder they need as many people as they can to safely walk the trails and see if they can find him. I mean, you just have so many. Here's more. There's another car park or some sort of facility here. There's a bunch of different trails, Firefly Trail, Boardwalk Loop Trail, and a camping ground called Bluff Campground. There's the South Cedar Creek Canoe Landing. A canoe landing. I don't see a river there, but sure. Might be under the tree canopy. But yeah, there is a little river that runs through. There it is. You can only see it in like little sections. Oh, look, you can see people in canoes. There you go. These little white bits here, I think they are people canoeing down the river. So it kind of gets hidden under the canopy. You can't see it in a lot of places. You can only just see a vague outline of it, see? So there is some water nearby, but what's that? Oh, just land. It is a massive search area, unfortunately. Let me see if I can find out what road he was on. Here, where did they find his car? Da, da, da. All right, let me go to this place. So yeah, they found his vehicle here. That's his mum. There's a photo of his car, but it doesn't tell me where they located it. Here. Palmetto Trail. Right there. Okay. Palmetto. Fork Swamp, Bates Ferry, Palmetto. Okay. So his car was found around here in this area of the park. Palmetto Trail Trailhead. So like I said, that's trailhead normally means where you start your journey and park your car. Palmetto Trail over here too. A lot of water. The watery river. It is very watery. And then is this a dam? A dam or some sort of water hold? Dominion Energy Watery Station. Hydroelectric? Don't know. But so if he was found just over here, or his car was located just over here, sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's a monster of a search area. I don't know where you go from here. I mean, I'm guessing they've searched all through here already. So if he was here or he made it to this person's property, this looks like a farmer's property right here. If he made it there, they would have, like, they would say something. I don't know where you would go from over here. Oh, you guys can't see? Sorry. I'm in another page, guys. I can't even see what I'm doing. Yeah, so he's here at the Palmetto Trailhead. This is where they said, on that article where they found his vehicle. Yeah, it's right there next to that road, 501. Is that the 501? 601. Yes. Okay. Like I said, there's not a lot here though. You got the trail that goes over to here, but down here is private property. There's a guy that lives here. Look, there's a farm. Where else could you go from here? There's a church, Mount Nebo Church. It's a weird place to have a church. And there's a I don't know. Over here is Dominion Energy. It's a station here. So on the back of the trail is this giant thing of water. And then a holding thing here maybe. And then you got a river that runs all the way through. So if he's in here somewhere, the conditions, like search conditions, aren't great. There you go. So you guys get a bit of a look at it. Sorry for keeping the poster up. I can't see. Bye, Catatonic. See you later. I don't know. I'm at a loss on this one because if they found the car there, like there's all industrial. Look, there's a road here that leads up to a property. Then you got that big water station or whatever it is here, energy plant. What is this? Is that coal? Is this like a refinery? Is that what it is? I have no idea what that is. Some sort of power plant that's owned by Dominion. Well, that's a distribution, like electric. This is for distributing electricity into the community. I know that. So is this coal-fired? Is that what this place is? Because that's all black. You would think that might be coal. I don't know. Might have to Google that one. But yeah, if he was at that trailhead, the trail goes through here and, through here to the Palmetto Trail. And there's a few different places you can get through under here. But I'm guessing they've already searched most of this. And then there's private property down there. It's very interesting that it's sort of a crossroad, 601, and then through here on Bluff Road. So it's a very convenient sort of like, it's sort of like a T intersection. It can go in any direction. So if someone took him or he hopped in a different car, he could go northwest, south. He can even get east as well a bit. It's a tricky situation. A mining plant? It sort of does. Here, we'll look it up. It's watery. Hold on. What does it do? It's a power plant. Yeah, it is a coal-fired power plant. Okay. So it says here it's a coal-fired power plant running 771.8 megawatts. Megawatts? Is that the correct thing? Megawatts? Yeah, megawatts. Okay. 771 megawatt coal-fired power station. That's apparently exactly what that place is. So all that black stuff we saw, it's coal. I had a feeling it might be. See, if we go to the wiki, watery station in Richland, South Carolina. Yeah, look, this is the map that we were just on. Sorry, we have no imagery here. I think you might be mistaken because we know there is an image there. There you go. There's that coal. So it must go up the conveyor belt up through here and get processed. Hopefully he didn't end up in there. Hopefully he didn't end up in the power plant. That's creepy. to have a person who is lost on the back of that. Yeah, South Carolina, not Canada, South Carolina. Yeah, here actually. So there's the trailhead. You can see them that they've already looked through here. Why are they taking a photo of right there? Hold on. So he wasn't found at the trailhead. They found him on the side here. Here? According to his family, they received an SOS alert from Williams' phone on October 3rd at approximately 10 a.m., indicating that his phone had been involved in a crash. But however, deputies confirmed that there was no evidence of a crash and Williams' belongings were found inside the vehicle. The investigation has revealed that Williams was last seen at the Palmetto trailhead located at the intersection of Highway 601 and Bluff Road in Eastover, South Carolina. Witnesses reported seeing both Williams and his vehicle at the location on the afternoon of October 3rd. But they're saying since then, no one has sighted him. As of October 15, investigators returned to the Palmetto trailhead to conduct another search using canine units, but they didn't find anything. Yeah, let's listen to the police update that they did.
I want to thank all the media for being here today because you play a very important part in bringing closure to this family and helping us to find Mr. Williams. We need help of the community. We need help from everybody to be involved in this search. We feel confident there's people out in the community who may know something that could help us and just not realize that they have that last key to the puzzle. So by you being here today and publicizing this, that's going to help this family and us find Mr. Williams, find Z, as everybody called him, was Z, and that's who we're looking for. You know, the purpose of this press conference is not to go over the facts. I think there's been plenty of facts already been given out. When he disappeared, where he found his car, you know, that's not what it's about. You know, I'm not going to go through all of that. I will tell you, though, that we have used every means of manpower and technology that's available. We've used them. We've used them in the past since this first started, and we continue to use them. And we're going to continue to search until we find him. The purpose today is for you to hear from the family members, from his mom, from his aunt. His cousins are here. His family's here. Now, they want to speak. They want you to know who Z is. They want to appeal to the community. Please make a call if you know something. Don't hesitate. And if you do know something, call Crime Stoppers. I call the words that she says.
Prayers, who have serious pain in her heart. Who he is.
Hi, my name is Liking. Please share.
I just want Zelig to come home. He all I got. He all I got. He all I got. Got you.
Very hard to listen to the mum there. Very, very hard. Yeah, I don't know. If he's there, I would have thought they would have found him by now. I wonder if he was taken from the area. Something is a bit strange about the details. I'm not sure what. Did they give us a reason of why he went in that direction? They're saying, I do find that SOS alert interesting because you have to apply quite a bit of force from the phone on its, on its gyroscope or the GPS thing to make it trigger that. Yeah, and they've had a look, big search party too, right there. Guys, I don't know. I hope it's not this, but this is in North Carolina. They say human remains were found in a ditch in North Charleston on Friday. But this is in North Carolina, not South Carolina. Yeah. I will keep looking for updates for him, and I hope we'll be able to get a good resolution for his mom. His mom just looks so just defeated, sad, just wants her son back. Let's watch a little video. Maybe it has the info. Hold on. Oh, that's her.
Deputies.
Yeah, let's see the trailer.
And that's why it's child. And that is why it's extremely difficult for her.
The search for Williams is still very active. Tuesday afternoon, Richland County deputies searched the Palmetto trailhead where Zelig Williams' SUV was found with no evidence of a crash and all of Williams' belongings still inside. Deputies say a witness has since come forward saying they saw Williams near the trail the day his SUV was found. But that's the last anyone has seen or heard from him.
He stopped taking his medicine is the belief, okay? And that would put him in a situation that he would be very, very vulnerable, all right? Because he might appear to be in distress or maybe even in a trance-like state, okay? And it makes him very vulnerable. So we beg you to please pay attention and bring.
All right, now it makes more sense. So he's gone off his medication and for some reason went to the Palmetto trailhead for some reason. That doesn't sound great. Angela says, will it do it if it's dropped or it needs to be flung? I'm not sure. Here, let's have a look. Can you set off? Let's see. It has a fall detection for that. What triggers the SOS on an iPhone? The most common reason for your iPhone being in SOS mode is accidental activation. Pressing the side button along with one of the volume buttons for too long can trigger this feature, which is easy to do if you're holding your phone tightly or trying to adjust position. Okay. Yeah, how do you... I accidentally activated an iPhone emergency SOS. Okay. So it's interesting. Apparently it does like a countdown and you can cancel it before it sends out the SOS message. And it's interesting that he didn't do that. Some interesting points there. Darby says, I wonder if he got picked up in that car got in a crash. You would think if a car got in a crash nearby and he was involved, that emergency services would have already come, and found them, but Carolina says that's a big clue, maybe. Yeah, that's all. I've got a Samsung too, so for me it just takes a screenshot. But for Apple devices, I think it doesn't. That's all we have. That's literally everything I have on him. I'll check one last place where I got his wanted poster. Not wanted poster, that's a terrible way of putting it. His bolo poster. Be on the lookout. Missing poster. Anything else about him? It's interesting that the family's now offering that 10 grand reward, though. Jennifer Coffindaffer posted about it too. Apparently, he lost his 2 sisters recently too. That's sad. A lot of people on social media are asking about where the media coverage for him is. We're trying. We're trying. Yeah, that's all I have on it. I was just trying to see if anyone had any other clues or why his phone did that or anything like that, but no, I don't have anything. There we go. Voice for the Voiceless on Twitter says he was last seen leaving his home that morning. He'd recently moved back to Colombia after performing in New York and had been giving back to his local dance community as a teacher. He was also in need of prescription medication, adding to the urgency to locate him. That's it, yeah. So he does sound like he was having some issues with his medication. Yeah, I'm going to put up one last poster for him because it's got some other photos. Here, here's a different wanted poster, missing poster. Huh? There we go. There's some other photos of him, like with like different looks and that, so you can kind of see. Yeah, so there you go. It could be for anything. Could be for depression. Could be for anxiety. Could be for all sorts of reasons. It could be for sleep. It could be for awake. You know that joke where they're like, do you wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night? Well, this medication is for you. I love that joke because they make fun of the American medical commercials on TV. Like, do you wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night? Are you sometimes angry and sad? Are you sometimes happy? This medication will solve all your problems. Sorry, it's not a funny topic. Sean says, I was surprised to find Australia has 38,000 missing people a year. It is true, but over 95% of them are solved within 1 week. And it's the others that are the ones they have trouble solving. Seizures sometimes, petite mole. Oh, I didn't know that. All right. I'll keep an eye on it. If I can find anything more about Mr. Williams, I will bring it to you because he needs to be brought home. His mum, that was so hard to watch. I hate seeing his mum like that. And the only thing that'll not even stop her from being like that, but the only thing that'll help her a little bit is to tell her where her son is. That's what she wants. She wants to know where her kid is. He's fairly young. He's only 28 years old. It's not that old. And yeah. So if you've seen that car, call it in too. Maybe you saw it driving around with him before he reached the trailhead. You need that magic pill? Okay. All right. Hey, I'm going to get out of here. We've been on here for 2 hours. Where did 2 hours go? How did that work? And it's late, so everyone's disappeared. Carolina, thank you very much for the super sticker. Even though it's supposed to be Carolina, but I say Carolina because that's how you say the feminine pronunciation of that. Danny Mitchell gave up someone a membership. I'm very appreciative. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for another. What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday night. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe we'll look into that hurricane in the Pacific. That'll be interesting. And uh Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another show. Hopefully not as late tomorrow. Tomorrow we should be back on a little earlier. Okay. And yeah, leave a comment about anything that you want to talk about from tonight's show. Good night. Good night, everyone. Bye bye. Bye. See you later. Bye.